Say it's the time to get them first practice schedule and reach out to what we talked about, and then get you all email addresses of all participants on your what is making this particular program so popular is that anybody is totally less than nearly as active and the facility having the active and like I said, one might be the most consistent hitter, one beginner might still be able to get to the other and help that. So this is not a venue. The top level, lower level, the AJGA, and that's the top or the hurricanes. There are certain sports that if you have a kid that's shooting in the 70s, you are going to excel in stroke play individuals and tournaments. But what's amazing about this format is that kids play in elite level stroke play events and still want to get everybody to good golf play. And again, it's more competition. So yeah, design of hitters to get to play all the time live every shot. So these are tools that help try to improve. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some parents that are interested.
See this game? This is our president.
Yeah,
He wants to come in.
Oh, I know this guy. This guy's a pain in the ass.
And this is Aaron.
This guy.
Bill.
No, both of y'all.
See, anyway, so these are the two guys you got to talk to, and I've introduced you. Now it speaks to you to take care of. He's a basketball official with me. He carries me all the time.
Okay.
And I watched him last year in a playoff. Prince George. So the guy can wrestle. He may be a better umpire than he was the size of that. Okay. So talk to these two. Secretary, President. You're on your own.
Thanks, Bill. You're my hero.
We're going to tell you to fill out some paperwork and get it in, and we'll tell you what to do from there. Was it the AIFO team?
sc-eaifo.org. Then there's a link that says apply. Yeah.
I didn't know what you were saying.
SC, Southern Chapter, -EAIFO.org. Yeah, I know. I actually don't have any paper.
So you got a new hairdo.
Yeah. Wait, what's it? Go. I tell you what, Robert, don't worry about it. Go into Arbiter.
Yeah.
Find me.
Yeah.
Email me.
All
I'll
right.
email you back the link.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not going to, I got some basketball games tonight.
Doesn't need to be tonight.
So I'm
Do
not
tomorrow.
gonna
You do that. It's fine.
I was going to hang out, but I got some basketball games.
Go do your basketball games.
Okay, I'll email you later
Yeah.
on.
Shoot me an email. Just find my email address in Arbiter.
Okay.
Hey, Robert, you can tell them to sit there, move outside. They want outside.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
We'll be calling.
All right. No problem.
Of course, I ran out of the because it's so crazy at the shop. I ran out without my extension cords. I ran out without the printout with the attendance roster, and I ran out without any paper. So I'm gonna see if I have any extra paper in the bag. It's fine.
Huh?
It's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah. That won't work.
So how you been, Rob?
Great. Thank you. Yeah, I'm loose. Trying to get down to like you.
I'm trying to lose 5 pounds myself.
It's all right if I got down to where you are now. I'd be happy.
I started working on it on Sunday, and I'm already down.
By the way,
4
I
pounds.
forgot to say hello.
Hello.
You guys don't have a piece of
Paper?
paper?
Just any kind of paper.
Oh, you mean the?
Yeah,
I got it.
I ran out without my roster too.
Robert, I'm old school. I still have paper.
Yeah, so do I. I just
I want 2 minutes.
Do you have any business you want to Secretary Treasurer?
I have my financials. It's in the. You want to see the agenda? There you go. I basically copied it from last year.
All right, here we go. Yeah, that's me. Oh, did you show up in a shirt and tie? We're going to pass around an attendance sheet. Please make sure that you sign in. This is one of our 2 business meetings for the year. It's also our introduction to new members. So we'll take care of all of that as we go along. Script says we have opening comments from the board. For our new members, just in case you don't know, I'm Robert Strauss, President of the Southern Chapter. Mike Peel, who is the Vice President of the Southern Chapter and who did all the coordinating for the scrimmages this spring, is working late and is unable to attend. We have Aaron Skolnick here, who is the Secretary Treasurer. He takes care of all of your finances. He'll give the financial update and his spiel about paying your dues shortly. We have Glenn Wilson, who is a director. He is also the president of our parent organization, the EAIFO, right? Yeah, it does. And we also have Bob Heffron, who is the other co-director at this time. I'll get into some other announcements later, but right now, Bob, Glenn, do you have anything you want to?
As far as opening comments, you're doing great.
Heck of a job.
Oh, by the way, Bill, before you go back. Many of you may not know Bill Dixon. Bill Dixon is a special advisor to the EA, to the Southern Chapter. He's a longtime basketball official. You also might have seen him if any of you have done a playoff game in the state of Maryland or any football game in the state of Maryland. Bill is an observer for Donnie Gray and does a lot of work in terms of moving people along. He also observes for the Southern Chapter. And Bill, you have any words of wisdom that
Hustle. I hate to see an official walk. Hustle.
Bill's worked at every level. He knows everybody. He's, I think, also currently in the ACC as a replay official. Is that right? Trusted all up and down the East Coast from all of the assigners. Chances are they probably talked to Bill coming up and probably still call him now for advice in the way some things are going.
Bill also secures this location for us for our meetings.
Yes. This is the same location that I think we're going to be back in December. I don't know if we've set the date yet, but We also have our year-end banquet here. We'll have barbecue and some other food and beverages, provided you all pay your dues. Aaron, financial update.
Okay, I'm trying to. 1 second.
Trying to make us busy.
I'm trying to make it on this thing. Yeah, primary. There we go. Monitor 2. Okay. That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah, be simple.
Yeah. Okay.
It's good. Took the camera off Robert's crotch.
You're welcome.
Just saying.
All right. So let's talk money for a minute. Bottom line up front, we're doing pretty good money wise. You guys have been pretty good in the past in paying your dues. We did very good last year. I was a little late getting the invoices to you this year, so we're a little slower starting than we were at this point last year. However, we have about $4,700 in the bank as of today. That's between our primary checking account and our PayPal account. We've collected about $2,800 worth of dues, but that leaves about $4,700 not yet paid. So you guys can do the math. That's a fair number of you who have not yet paid. I have not yet paid the Parent Association, the EAIFO, for our memberships yet. I need to do that by the 1st of June. I probably have enough money in the bank today to do that if I had to today, but I'm not submitting your name to the Parent Association as a member until you pay your dues. So you will not be eligible to work any ECAC games if you are not a member of the EAIFO Parent Association. All right? So again, I will not be adding your name to the roster I submit up to the Parent Association unless I have your dues paid. I make it very easy for you. For those of you in the room who have not paid, you can either write me a check and you make it out to either EAIFO or Southern Chapter or whatever. The bank will take it either way. You can also pay with a credit card. I have a credit card machine here, so we can do it that way. Those of you who are watching online, you visit the EAIFO, the Southern Chapter website. Since you're watching online, you're already on the website. You can click on the payments link and then select the proper payments, whether you're an on-field official or a clock operator, etc. So please don't delay in doing that. It makes it easier for us if we get all the money in. And those of you who were with us last December for the banquet, that's largely, in addition to your EAIFO dues, that's what largely you are paying for. So I need those submitted immediately.
And if I can just jump in one thing, just so everybody understands with the dues. We try not to make this a hard sell on the dues. I'm sorry, I see people trying to see me around the pole.
You can't see around the pole.
It's good. But we don't want to make this a hard sell on the dues. The dues are something we pay the parent organization. The parent organization holds insurance. They're the ones that help pay for the assigners. It used to be they paid for our rule books. And we understand that there's a lot of people in this room that are really new to college football officiating. And you're incurring a lot of expenses. You're having to buy new uniforms. You're having to pay dues. You're going to have to pay the CFO to get on their website and get your copy of the rule book and all that kind of stuff. If paying your dues to the Southern Chapter are a hardship, if it's truly a hardship, and I'm sorry if you already had that up there.
I haven't, but
Come see Robert, me, Aaron, Bob Heffron, talk to Mike Peel. Let one of us know. Because I don't want to, I guess I probably should know this. I don't want whatever the dollar amount our dues is,
65,
60 bucks,
65.
65, whatever it is, to keep you from officiating. None of us wants that to happen. So if for some reason there's an issue, let us know. We'll figure something out. We'll figure out a payment plan. We'll figure out a scholarship, whatever we have to do. But just make sure we know. Now, if it's not a hardship, let's pay your dues. Let's get it over with. That's it.
Say all of us up here pay the same dues that you do. So I actually had to transfer money out of my bank account into the Southern Chapter's bank account. So it happened. Huh?
Did you cover mine?
No, I did not cover yours. Mike paid though.
I paid.
Yeah, you paid. You haven't. And I do have a list. We keep it in QuickBooks. That's one of our ongoing expenses. Is we do keep the books for real. Like, you know, I'm not an accountant, but I played one on TV. So again, we've got a couple of upcoming expenses. We have our meeting place in Annapolis, especially for our Eastern Shore guys and Baltimore guys. We pay for the space there in Annapolis. For the web and video hosting for our game films that we put up. Again, there's a nominal expense involved in that. If you are an accountant type and you really want to get into the nitty gritty and see the P&L statements and the balance sheets and all that stuff, you can come talk to me. I can bring them up for you. I actually had a printed copy but ran out of my office without it. So that's pretty much that. Again, we're in good shape. Just keep it coming in and don't make me come after you because, you know, I got other things going on. So,
You're up again.
All right, as far as director meeting updates, there has been no director meeting to this point. Last year, as a cost-cutting measure, which allowed us as a chapter and allowed most of the other chapters to lower their dues, we decided that we would not have an overall directors meeting, an on-site directors meeting. So we will probably have a directors conference call, and just so everybody understands. So Bob and I are the directors of the Southern chapter. Every other active chapter has 2 directors. And what we will do is we'll have a conference call it'll probably be mid-June at this point. And what we do is we sit down and we talk about what's A, the state of the EAIFO, B, what's the state of our chapters, what do we need to be doing to continue on? Do we need to continue to incur expenses for things like Huddle? Yes, we do, because we need video. Do we need to continue to use things like ZebraWeb? Yes, we do, because we need to be able to disseminate information to groups. We need to be able to do assignments. We need to be able to do all the things that we can do through that. Do we need to continue to have meetings? Do we need to have breakout meetings? Yes, we do. So we talk about all that stuff. We talk about the rules, interpretations, the mechanics. What's changing? What do we need to do? How much can we ask our chapters to incur financially when the CFO first started, I think first year at CFO, everyone paid $75. Now it's up to the Division I official pays $150. Everyone else pays $100. So we're trying to figure out what really fits. How does the EAIFO fit with the CFO? If the CFO is putting out video, where do we fit? Well, my personal opinion is it's great to see the CFO videos, and you get to see all the big Saturday games and the Friday night games and everything that's the big games. But there's nothing better than being able to see video of yourself. And at no point, I don't think, is the CFO going to provide us video of ourselves. We're not going to get the Division III game at Gallaudet on the CFO web, on one of their broadcasts. So that's why we need to continue to have our chapters in order. So that's what we do. If anything comes out of that meeting that really affects the chapter, Bob and I will make sure we disseminate that information. I don't anticipate anything major. The big news at last year's meeting was that Philadelphia decided to do away with their chapter. It's something that we don't want to do. Because we see the value in the fact that we get together in a meeting like this, we get to see each other, we get to talk about where we're going, what we're doing, what needs to be done. We get to have breakout rules meetings where we go to the meeting in Baltimore, we go to the meeting down in Annapolis, we go to the meeting in DC, and we get all those rules meetings. Could those things still happen without a chapter? Yeah, they could. But I guarantee you, and I know this for a fact because I know enough guys in Philly, their meetings aren't what they used to be because they don't get together for the big meeting. They have their South Philly, North Philly, East Philly, Southern New Jersey meetings, but they don't always get the information back together. So that's why we want to keep this going as long as we can as far as the chapter. So any questions about the state of the EAIFO or anything? And the other side of it, as it stands right now, to work football for Bill Ward in the ECAC, you have to be an EAIFO member. So those of you that are new members, that are new into the organization, you're going to be working in the ECAC. The only way you're going to work in the ECAC for Bill Ward is to be a member of the EAIFI. So, any questions? Thank you.
Do we have any of this right now?
Actually, a rules interpreter, what's his name?
Tom Delaney.
Tom Delaney, yeah, your old referee. He is on he's driving down to New Orleans, so he's not with us tonight. Michael Chapper is his able-bodied assistant. The only thing that we will tell you right now as far as rules and rules updates, CFO exam will come out around about June the 1st, along the same time those who are veteran members or if you have been identified previously, you will join the CFO for at a minimum $100. That will give you access to all of the videos, the rule books, the interpretations, a whole bunch of stuff that you don't want to have anything to do with, all kinds of news and updates. Those of you who are new and have a pocket full of money and are looking for a tax deduction, you are welcome to join the CFO website. The one thing about the chapter, as Glenn and Bob mentioned, we try to keep costs down as much as possible for new members, so we do not require that you join the CFO. The reason being, you are 99.9% guaranteed not to work a postseason assignment. To work a postseason assignment, you must be a CFO registered member. And in some cases, do background checks and other things. In lieu of that $100 CFO membership for our new members, and we will introduce you momentarily, you will have to pay the ECAC one-time only registration fee. Aaron will send you a link, or we'll send you the information on where to do that. On mechanics, I've talked to Bill Ward, and we are not using 8-man mechanics in the Southern Chapter. I know that's something you were all interested in. Right now, we have 5 schools that we are servicing, 6 if you count Alderson Broadus, out in West Virginia, where we will split the schedule as we did last year with the Western PA chapter. But our closest school is going to be Gallaudet. That's the Division III school in Northeast Washington. Our next nearest school probably is Coppin State. That's up in Baltimore. That's a junior college. Next nearest is probably a toss-up depending on where you live. The University of Maryland Eastern Shore is another club program. Those 2 schools typically use 5- or 6-man mechanics. Then we go down to Newport News. That's 7-man mechanics. And the farthest school south would be Lewisburg, and they're 6-man mechanics. We only have 1 school back this year. Well, 2 schools use timers. Gallaudet, they do the play clock and the game clock. And Newport News, we provide one of the 2 clock operators there. So in terms of mechanics, interpretation and rules, that's all I'll say about that for the time being. Any questions on that, particularly for our new members? ECAC update, that's pretty much the same thing. Bill Ward so far is happy with us. He's happy because of the type of training that we provide and the way that we do the things that we do. He is in the process of setting his calendar for early July and clinics. He will again allow us to do our own one-day clinic in August. So once you pay your registration and you get the email from Bill saying I'm having clinics in Syracuse and in Western PA and upstate other places, you will not be required to go to that clinic. The only clinic you will be responsible for is our August clinic, which we will probably host again at Gallaudet University. It will be on a Saturday. It will probably be the 2nd Saturday in August. It will be an all-day affair, starting at about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, going till about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
That does not preclude you from attending one of those clinics if you want to. And if once we set our date, if you know for some reason you can't make our clinic, you will need to attend one of those clinics.
Let me say, in fact, yeah, let me say this now. At the July meeting, we weigh you. At our August clinic, we will weigh you. We will not run you unless Glenn decides, or Aaron decides, or Bob decides they want to run you. Being in shape is the most critical component of this avocation that you, particularly for the new folks, and your schedule will be conditioned upon that. All right. As a matter of fact, Roger, why don't you stand up? Roger started, and we brought him in conditionally. He met the conditions, did what he had to do. Now he's worked his way up now to the ECFOA. He's going to work for Proof of Milk. So as dedicated and committed as you are to your conditioning, may be as dedicated and conditioning as far as moving up. After Roger says how much he's lost, I don't say that I lost about 35 pounds. Glenn won't say he lost about 25, 30 pounds. Bob won't say he lost about 25, 30 pounds. So if you add up those 25, 30 pounds, we still don't get off the cheerleader that Roger lost. Okay?
I saw a little guy from Roger.
Yeah, all little guys, all umpires. There's two types of umpires, those that have been knocked down and those that will.
That's right.
Okay, there's only two types. And I've seen Hilbert go down more than one of those old punch. I mean, he's like down, up, down, up, down, up. He can go down twice in a game and probably still will. But that's it.
It takes a real person to get in the middle.
That's
all I'll
right.
say. Tell him, Rob.
Absolutely. In fact, before we introduce our new guys, what I'll do is this is a good segue into those who have been promoted. We're always happy when members of the Southern Chapter get to move up. It's a very important thing. They worked hard, they're dedicated. And so we'll start with Hilbert, and then we'll go around the room. They can say for themselves where they were promoted to.
For everybody in the room, but you know, that's another story. But this is going to be my first year as a supplement with the AAC, and I'm going to be a full-time member of the CIP this year. So just keep working hard.
For those of you who don't know what the AAC is the American Athletic Conference. That's a Division I conference whose supervisor happens to be one Terry McCauley, in case you don't know. It's also the conference that our director, go ahead. Did you get promoted this year?
Yeah, I guess I did. You did. Yeah. So this will be my first year full time in the American Athletic Conference. I spent the last 9 years in the CIP, which is the Colonial Ivy Patriot, which is FCS football. And Nipsey's right. Just keep working hard. You'll hear. We actually, there's a lot of people in the room that got promoted, or a lot of people that got promoted that aren't in the room. And I can tell you, every one of them has a different path and a different story to tell how they got there. And so don't get discouraged. If someone else gets promoted and you don't, just keep working hard. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Our next promotion, one of the hardest working guys, I think he worked about 47 scrimmages all up and down the East Coast. And he's got a story to tell. I'll let him tell his story, but this gentleman right here.
Everyone, Jeff Pumphrey. I spent the last 11 years working Division II and III. This year, I was recently promoted to the Colonial Ivy and Patriot Leagues. And just keep working hard. And if anyone ever needs any help, please give me a call.
Brent worked here for a number of years, moved to North Carolina. I think we have a gentleman over here to my right. Yeah, you want to promoted this year?
I want to help you out.
All right, I'm an official. I can't get past the front half of the room. Anybody in the back half of the room get promoted?
We did have one other promotion who's I guess kind of an honorary member of the Southern chapter. Andrew McGrath, who was a member here for a number of years, moved to Florida about 3 years ago, just got picked up by the MEAC. So he'll be working Division I FCS football this year.
I guess since we're shouting out former members or roster members, Byron Adams, so a longtime member of the Southern chapter. He's now full-time with the AAC as well. He'll be on the crew. So we've got a long history.
Actually, two more. Charles Lambertina.
Right.
Tim Gover was hired full-time by the MAC. Brendan Johnston, Pat Cap, Colin Gaynor are all going to be working in the CIP. So a lot of activity this year.
And what does that mean? That means that I think we have one of the best training programs in the area. Not just the Southern chapter, but we also team up with the TBFOC. We have Bob Heffron, who has his Baltimore study group. You want to plug what you do and how you do it?
I don't do a damn thing. I rely on the strength around me to get it done, though, but because there's a lot of Robert's going to go over a little calendar for June. You know, you talk about the commitment level. Obviously, you've all made the commitment. Robert's going to lay out the schedule for June. It's very, very busy. You know, we're going to continue on our pace to have our meetings. Guys, the Big East or the American Conference hired 28 guys. The CIP hired 25 guys. The upward whooshing sound that you hear comes from somewhere. It comes from right here. Sometimes it's arduous, sometimes it's frustrating, sometimes it's painful. But guess what? It happens. Keep your head down, work hard, focus on what you can focus on, which is everything you can control in front of you. Especially this year, I know there's a big push in Milt's organization too. Be positive. No one wants a Debbie Downer. Sorry, Debbie. Be positive. The business end of football is never pretty. We all get caught up in it. Don't. There's nothing you can do about it. Be positive. Keep your head down. Keep moving forward. Good things will happen. Okay? Thank you.
I have the list.
Okay. Well, before we do that, Bill, do you want to say anything about the new supervisor and the ACC? Anything you want to share? That's another avenue.
Denny Hennigan?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Denny Hennigan, not being to say anything bad about the Rhodes, but Denny's a great guy. I had him in his first college games he ever had when we were in the ACAC together. But he's a great guy. He really is. Terrible lawyer, but he's a great guy. And I'll say that. I say that to his face too, because I hate lawyers. But no, Denny's a great guy. What he's going to do, what he's going to change, he's not living in Greensboro all year. I mean, during the season, he's going to come home. He's going to be in the middle of the week. He's going to go back to New York, where he's from. But I've talked to him. He's just a super guy. So how he goes from here, we'll see. But yeah.
So that's another opportunity to work major college football. A lot of it in this area. So opportunities will be presented to you in terms of being available for scrimmages and things of that nature. And let me say this about college football officiating. This is a technology-based application. I can't tell you to get some type of Android device, a Apple product. I don't really care what product you get, but you need it. Okay? And I'm going to tell you you need it. How many of you have jobs that you cannot take your mobile device into your job site? I will tell you, you all are going to be behind the curve.
So give up your clearance, quit your job.
No, I do not want you to do that.
Go work for your
Okay? I do not want you to quit your good government job or your good private sector job that has a security clearance that's paying you a lot of money. Because the only way you're really going to make a lot of the money in this avocation is if you go work for the Shield, which I think now is 8-man mechanic, or the 7 or whatever they're doing, and they're getting full-time officials making 6 figures a year. Now, the other guys that were just talked about, they started making checks with commas. We just have the decimal point. Okay? You will probably take a pay cut working club football, Division II football, and Division III football. If you want to make a lot of money, stay in high school, go work youth rec league, and you can make money right now. If you want to get to where these guys are, you want to work on ESPN, ABC, NBC, all of those made, have all big crowds, $100,000, people. Continue to do what you do what these guys do, work for nothing, next to nothing, for a loss, and you will get that opportunity. When scrimmages opportunities come out, one email will go out. I guarantee you within 5 minutes, 10 people will call and say, I'll do it. If you are in one of those situations where you cannot get to your cell phone, don't call late because, it just isn't going to be there for you. Those who move quick, those who have easy access, whether it's to on your hip, on your desktop, whatever it is, he or she who types fastest will get the assignment. They don't call twice. They don't ask twice. They don't ask for paperwork twice. They don't ask you to pay your dues. The email goes out. The money should come back in. You do not want to get the reputation of being the last person to respond to any request for information. Anybody want to add anything to that? Does anybody have any experiences that have been here for a while that run counter to that? I didn't think so. You will get out of this business faster for not taking care of the administrative requirements than anything you do on the field. You are not expected to be perfect on the field. You are expected not to make the same mistake twice. Expected to do things the way we tell you to do them and not how you want them to be done. This business is, we give you our opinion and we do not expect comments back. How you respond to criticism, whether it be positive or negative, what we try to do is build you up, not tear you down. We try to be constructive in anything that we tell you. But we're telling you for your own good. If we tell you you're too big, you're too fat, if you look at anyone who is up here, look at the facial hair, look at the haircut, look at the body type. We will not tell you to cut your beard, cut your hair. We will not tell you to do any of those things. We will tell you that your schedule will be directly proportional to the things that you do and how you look at those who are on TV. Enough said about that.
Just know that deadlines are given to you. So if the deadline is the 25th, to have something in, don't wait. Deadlines are bad.
Well, it's the whole thing where, if you're supposed to be there at 11 and you show up at 11, you're 15 minutes late. Or half an hour late, or whatever. Depends on your referee. Same idea.
I'll say this before we get into the introductions, the same thing about meeting attendance. Aaron is a great technology guy. We live stream meetings, we do teleconferences, we do all of those things. Particularly for our new members. If you want to move up, these are the people that need to see you at the meetings. Not logged in online. Logging in online is nice for those members that we have down in Richmond, out on the Eastern Shore. If you are within about a 25, 30-mile radius and driving distance, you need to be in a chair in attendance. And with that, Aaron, why don't you go ahead and once you hear your name for the new members, we'll ask you to stand up, introduce yourselves. We will not ask you to sing or dance or stand on your head at this point.
All right, Scott Bowers.
Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Hold on. Case in point, though. Case in point. Where's he from?
Richmond.
He's here.
First year in college, 9 years as a high school official, done semi-pro for 7 of that. Lucky enough to get the semi-pro championship last year. Other than that, glad to be here.
All right, Glenn Gist.
Glenn Gist.
Gist, I'm sorry.
First year of college, and I've done 3 years of high school.
Where are you from, sir?
Northern Virginia.
I know Stu is actually not here this evening. He's watching us online, but he may be a familiar face for some of you. So
Not a pretty one.
that was Glenn, not me, Stu. Wally Johns, are you here?
I'm Wally Johns, Richmond, Virginia. This will be 6 years of high school football for me and first year of college football.
Before we move on to Wally also was, if my other email is correct, Wally got picked up by the CIAA this year as well. Glenn's a former CIAA member. I'm a former CIAA member. Chris Hagers is a current CIAA member working with Wes Brown's crew. I think that's all I see in the room right now.
I was the only one in Ebony Magazine.
Network. And you're also one of the other ones, you and Tom, right? You both worked national championship
Game drop.
I said Ebony Magazine. I didn't say anything about the game.
All right, Ken Johnson. Ken Johnson.
Kenneth Johnson, out of college. This is my 7th year this year. First year college.
Joseph.
Joe Jung, 5 years of high school, first year in college from Northern Virginia.
Patrick Langford.
Patrick Langford out of Alexandria, Virginia, 6th year of high school, first year of college.
Joseph.
Joe Marcio, Southern Maryland, did my 8th year of high school, first year of college.
AC McDuffie.
AC McDuffie, 3 years of high school, first year of college, Northern Virginia.
I know Adam Semo is in the Richmond area tonight watching us online. Jody Tolbert.
Jody Tolbert. I think this might be my 5th year of high school, first year of college, and fan of America's team, Dallas Cowboys. Thank you.
Can you adjust that slide?
We'll forgive you for that. Jerome.
Jerome Trevor, about 15 years with
Tom Beard situation in Towson. I've been there a couple of times. Mr. Strada, and Mr. Strada told me I was afraid, so I said I would come and join the chapter. So,
All right.
Joseph? I'm not sure if he's. Yeah, I don't believe he's here this evening. And Manny Williams, I know you were running. Good, you made it.
yes, I'm here. Dominic Williams.
See, I can't speak names. I'm awful with names, so I apologize.
You know, I get that from most people
Yeah.
with my name. But this is should be my 6th year in high school, 1st year college, coming from Washington, D.C.
All right. I'll tell you what, why don't we do this? Because, you know, we normally don't do this, so let's do this. If you have not stood up and introduced yourself, why don't you stand up if you're a regular member, introduce yourself to our new members, just so that they kind of know who you are and where you're coming from.
I'll start. Rob Friedman, member of Milt Hallstead, ECFOA, 8th year working college football, 16th year high school football, in 8 years done 2 Division III playoff games, and you know, just keep on working hard. If you're starting, anything can happen to anybody. Just like you did. Just like me. I did. Go ahead.
Chris Marsico, work for Milt Hallstead also. This will be my 3rd year doing college football.
All right, you guys have all stood up. We'll go to the.
Eric Schultz, this will be my 10th year with Northern Virginia, 3rd year college, ECAC, and ECFOA.
Chris Haggis, this is my 13th year of high school ball, 3rd year of college ball, 3 years CIAA, 2 years ECAC.
Zach Smith, 6 years of high school, 3rd year of college, with ECFOA.
Mike Chapper, I'm 10 years of high school. This is my 6th year with Milt, and my 1st year as referee.
Woo!
All right.
Kevin Briggs, 6 year high school.
Can't hear you.
Kevin Briggs, 6 year high school. 1st year, 3rd year with ECAC, 2nd year with Knowles.
Gilbert Jackson, ECFOA. This is my 8th year with Milt and 8th year high school.
Principal Johnson from Road Board. This will be my 9th year of high school, my 6th year of college.
James Taylor, 9th year high school, 2nd year of college.
Mark Blair, this will be my 10th year of high school and 2nd year of college.
Billy Williams, North Virginia, 8 years high school, 3 years college, ECAC, ECFOA.
Billy D.
George Stanback, 13 years high school, 4 years ECA.
All right, I think we
Get everybody?
No, there's one more, but he just stepped out. I think he wants to
I
do an
already introduced
introduction and a spotlight coming up on him when he comes back in himself.
And I didn't really recognize, I guess, when I walked in, the number of new guys that we have here today. I still consider myself a new guy, but the organization, the Southern Chapter organization, and specifically the experience that you have around you, it's on you to take advantage of those people. Everyone in this room is willing to help you out. Doesn't matter if you call them at 11 o'clock at night or email
Please don't.
them. Just don't. They'll get back to you. It's amazing. The support structure
I'll
that
be in
you have
bed.
here compared to the support structure that I experienced in Florida and some other places around the country is second to none. So you were very, very lucky to be in the position that you are in. Now all you have to do is take advantage of that. just wanted to add that because these guys do a great job, and you need to recognize that from the start.
Well said,
Now, don't get me wrong. You can call me at 11:30 at night. I just may not be very happy with you if you do that.
Just keep calling.
5:30 or 6 in the morning, that's no problem. I'll be up. I'll probably already be at work, but you know.
Just looking to get promoted. Yeah, we are, the Southern chapter, particularly since we've changed leaderships a few years ago, we have turned over the majority of our roster. There are very few officials who are here who have a long tenure. That can be both good and bad, but it means that you have a lot of opportunity. And so since Barry Bergen decided he wanted to grace us, Barry, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, Barry Bergen, I've been an official, high school official since 1977, with the Southern chapter, beginning in, I guess, the early 1990s. Left, came back, and I worked as a timer and also needed one field. I think they've just said this is one of the best organizations I've ever personally involved. You guys are very lucky. You've got great mentors here, and believe me, everyone else will help you in any way they can. If you need anything else, I'm here.
All right, do we have any new business that we need to discuss? Any old business we need to discuss? If not, then we'll move into closing remarks and the calendar for June. So June 3rd, that's a Wednesday. Most of these meetings will be on Wednesdays with the exception of 2 events. June 3rd, we're going to start the CFO test. It'll be one of 3 sessions that we'll have down in DC. It's at the DC Public Works off of West Virginia Avenue. Chris Keel will lead that session. We will more than likely go over the first third of the CFO test. The CFO test, when it comes out, hopefully June 1st, when registration opens up, we will download that. We will make it available on Zebra Web. For our new members, Aaron will get you into Zebra Web. You will get a Zebra Web account.
You should already have it.
Okay, well, you should already have it. How many of our new members have not logged into Zebra Web already?
Good.
So all of our new members have been on Zebra Web. All right, for the bonus question, how many of our new members have posted a professional picture on Zebra Web? All right, that's not bad. That's not bad. But
Better than 0. So that's
better than 0.
Please go in and get a picture of yourself, not just a snapshot, not a selfie off of your phone. Have somebody take a picture of you with a good camera, make it a square, you know, chest up, and upload it into Zebra Web.
Shirt and tie preferred.
Yes.
No uniforms.
No baseball caps. No.
No crop pictures with, you know, your sunglasses up and your girlfriend off to the side. Okay, with your wife at home.
Ooh.
Oh, don't think.
Maybe you call your wife.
Okay. We're not going to get into what your personal business is, but Bob will tell you that things have happened. Things have happened at the highest level. True story. Somebody who was not with, you know, working NFL Europe. No longer working for the NFL because he didn't have the person on the paperwork with him. Caused problems.
There's an expression in officiating that is, make sure you have the same luggage with you each week at a game. And it has nothing to do with the bag that has your uniform in it. And I worked firsthand with an official who did not have the same woman with him every week that we traveled. And it is a very uncomfortable situation, and it is a very disrespectful situation, A, to the woman or to the man, and B, to the rest of your crew.
All right then.
Speaking of uniform, You should have a college bag and a high school bag. Do not come into our locker room on Saturday with the uniform you had on Friday night.
Be prepared. And you guys that have been promoted to a point that you're working every Saturday and you're working at a higher level on Saturday, guys that are now working in the NEC or in the CIP, or even some of you that are getting regular Division II schedules through the ECFOA, it's time to think about stopping doing high school. Because the last thing you want to do is call a coordinator on late Friday night or Thursday night or first thing Saturday morning and say, I twisted my ankle, or I popped my hamstring, or I did whatever in a high school game last night, because a college coordinator doesn't want to hear that. You guys that are just getting into the chapter, that list of new members, keep getting your field time. Keep getting your high school games, get as much field time as you can. But guys that are moving up, start thinking twice.
For some of you doing high school games, understand that if that game starts at 6:30 or 7:30 and you don't finish the game till 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock, maybe later if you get rain delays, 90% of what we do is a driving distance of a couple hours, sometimes 4. When you work for Mild, it could be 5 hours. 6 hours, 7 hours. Do I hear 8? 8 going once. 8 going. Okay. When you work for Glenn's conference or you work for McGonaghy, you're going into your work site the day before. So you won't have an opportunity to work a Friday night game anyway. As you know, a lot of schools, including now the CIAA, they have games on Thursday night. CIAA, you still only have to get there 3 hours, but if you're working Thursday night, you're still taking off Thursday. So you're getting up 3 o'clock in the morning to go meet your crew at 4 o'clock because our requirement is 3 hours before kickoff in the locker room.
Ready to start pregame.
Right.
Not walking into the locker room. Sitting ready.
So you have an 11 a.m. kick at Lewisburg.
So yes, an 11 a.m. kickoff at Lewisburg means that you're in the locker room at 8 o'clock.
Means you're leaving DC around 3:34.
I think Hilbert will tell you, we left my house one morning at about 4:30, 5 o'clock. All 5 of the 6 officials drove down in my Honda. Yeah, somebody was in the hump. Okay. But you learn to like each other. If you can't get along, at this level, it's as much about people, both in the crew and how you treat the players and the coaches as anything else. Now, as difficult as that day was, I think we had a decent time going down to Lewisburg.
That's right. Except for Chapman.
Chapper who was sitting on the hump, right?
Well, no, that's when I think somebody got my lecture about coming in with a high school bag. I think I interrupted my pregame and said something about shoes and went right back to my pregame. Right?
We had an official with done a high school game the night before. We talked about preparing for your day and having 2 bags. Did a game on Friday night. We're doing our pregame and he's shining his shoes. So Robert did the right thing. He stopped. We're in pregame. He stopped. Gave his spiel on being prepared and went right back to business. And we haven't seen him since then.
I'm just saying. All right, back to the schedule. Sometimes we take detours, but public service announcements need to be made when they need to be made so that we can get the information out. One of the things we don't want you to say is, well, I didn't know. We make sure we tell you. All right, next date to remember, June 10th, we will send out a Zebra web notice, but just so that you know. Because sometimes we tell you once and then we decide we're not going to post it because you should have been here or online. And if you don't know, you don't know, and that affects your schedule. You must attend meetings, whether they are online or in person, at least 75% of our meetings to be considered a member in good standing, along with paying your dues. So June 10th, CFO session number 2, 7 p.m., DC Public Works. Again, the leader is Chris Keel. Those of you who are down south or in the DC area, that probably will be the place that you will go. Those of you who are on this end or in the Baltimore area, the Baltimore study group will be at the East Columbia Library. Right. The special guest presenters will be Pat Holt and Tim Gover. They'll be talking about some of the differences between the center judge, the umpire mechanics, blocking in the zone, in and around the line, and those things.
What's the date?
It's the same date, June 10th. So there'll be 2 meetings, 2 different locations.
That was at 6:30.
Yes.
Baltimore Study Group's always
Baltimore
at 6:30.
Study Group, 6:30 to 8.
The Baltimore Study Group typically is very timely. They want to start on time. They want to end on time because the Baltimore Study Group goes and has a supplemental training session. The supplemental training sessions are burgers and bites. Beers. You get a beer and a burger or whatever you want to drink. You don't have to drink beer. You can drink tea or water. But they normally go and have a supplemental meeting and talk football and other things. Traveling to the game site and traveling from the game site are probably as important as any other meeting that you will attend. The pregame conference and the postgame debrief are very important. You will be amazed at how much you can talk about in that 3 or 4 to 6 hour ride on your way back. Plays that you didn't think were non-consequential things that will come up that you will talk about. That's June 10th. Tuesday, June 16th. Miller Branch Library in Ellicott City, 7 p.m. There will not be a CFO test meeting either in DC or anywhere else. We will have the AAC Supervisor of Officials, NFL official, Terry McCauley will be doing a presentation for us that evening. 7 p.m., Tuesday, June 16th, Miller Branch Library. We'll put out the address and everything else, but 7 p.m.
I thought that was at 6:30 also.
7.
That meeting should also be live streamed. But they don't need to know
I
that.
just put 6:30, so I wouldn't be late.
Yeah, that's your boss, right? I thought you were driving it.
I'm doing the introduction.
Say no guarantees it'll work though.
All right. Saturday, June 20th. There's a University of Maryland passing camp. University of Maryland brings in a bunch of teams. They play 7-on-7 football. If you are interested in working some of those games, those are paid assignments, nominal fee, maybe $20, $25. They're flag football, but particularly for wings, deep guys, it's good experience. Contact, he's probably going to kill me, Pat at tbfoc.org. Pat at tbfoc.org. We're trying to work, particularly our new Southern Chapter members and some who didn't quite make it. There may be light refreshments served at that meeting. We're working on that. Then Wednesday, June 24th. That's the last of the CFO test sessions. 7 p.m., DC Public Works, Chris Keel again will be the session leader. After that, early July, Bill Ward's meeting. That's a mandatory meeting. Typically what happens, Bill comes down after all of the college conference supervisors meet in Chicago. I think that's the first week in July. He schedules a trip down. We typically hold that meeting at Good Counsel, but that has not been determined because we don't have a date yet. The next important date will be August. That'll be our clinic. After that, we will have our scrimmages. We'll get more looks at you according to what's requested. And then our season starts the end of September, excuse me, the 1st of September, end of August.
I think Mr. Efron has something to
You know, Robert made mention a moment ago about some of the gentlemen that did not get accepted at this particular point in time, and I know there's a list of them. Hopefully most of them are still watching us online. You know, that whooshing sound of everybody rising through the ranks. Robert can tell you how painful that can be sometimes, and I'm guilty. Sometimes there's a need up the ladder somewhere, and somebody gets a phone call and says, hey, you have that second bag in the car? You know, that college bag ready? You know, you got to get in the car and go, which creates holes somewhere else, which creates opportunities for people that are, unfortunately, able to answer their phones right away. So, you know, head down, keep looking forward, be positive, good things will happen. There's a lot that happens between now and August. So be ready for it. It does happen. Sorry for making your life a little painful from time to time. So.
No, and Bob, stay up here for a second. Sure. So that you know, there are really, you get a couple different bites of the apple working through the Southern chapter. We had up here the ECAC. Those schools are the ones that Bill Ward's assigns. Those are your primary obligations. But we also have opportunities. You heard a couple folks say that they work for Milt Halstead and the ECFOA. Bob is one of his confidants in this area, where if Milt needs someone, he says, well, who do you have ready? This is the person that he talks to.
This is the guy I steal him from.
All right. And with that said, you do not have to ask us. You're going to ask. Okay? You're going to ask, well, how do I move up? Can I get you to recommend it? One of us to write a letter of recommendation. 90% of the time, if you are good enough to be promoted, we have already talked and given that information to those that need to know, including Bill Dixon. And if you are any good, we will quietly get you observed. So be good while you're on the field. Do the job we tell you to do the way we tell you to do it. And if you do those things, then you will find good things happening for you.
And work every assignment as if you are being observed. Because you never know who is there watching. You don't know who the other guy on the crew is. You don't know if it's one of those days where Milt Halstead has a shortage of wings and he goes to Terry McCauley or he goes to Dennis Hennigan, who he works with and knows very well, and says, hey, one of your guys is off this day. Can I use him as one of my wings? You may have a guy that's working an FBS game the week before and the week after at Florida State, working a Division III game with you because Milt needed somebody. Well, if you go out there and do it halfway, you can rest assured he's going to tell everybody he did it halfway. But if you go out there and work hard and you work a good game, You may, after that game, say to them, hey, any pointers you could give me? And now all of a sudden you have someone that you can talk to going forward. And you can say to, hey, you remember you and I worked together last week at the Wesley. And I want to move up. Can you give me some advice? What else I need to do? So then you're building your scope. Now maybe you're outside of just the realm of the Southern chapter, and now you're building that same way by going to different clinics. You're meeting people from outside of just our group, and you have other opportunities to be seen, become known, and also have other people available to recommend you for the future.
Not only do you not know who might be watching you on the field, but every game is filmed. You never know who might get a look at your film. Some of the people that the Southern chapter has looking at your film have the ears of some of the other coordinators. I don't know if you want to go into detail of who those people are, but Kevin Edwards is one of the people that grades film for the Southern chapter. Kevin Edwards is the eyes and ears of Jim McGonigal for the Colonial Ivy and Patriot in this area. Adrian Hill from the NFL may be looking at some film. There are a lot of people that can see the film. You might even occasionally see a Southern chapter game show up on Sports Center just because something that happened. I think we had that, was it last year or year before?
Yeah, you did.
So you never know. I mean, there might be someone in the stands or there might be someone just looking at the film. Every game, it's not like it was 10, 15 years ago. Every game is filmed and everything that you're doing is being documented, and hopefully they're catching the good things you're doing.
Don't forget our own Bill.
Oh, yeah, we already mentioned Bill earlier, but yes. Bill with his ACC ties.
Barry, wake up, Barry. Stop sleeping.
We pretty much reached the conclusion of the meeting. Are there any questions, concerns, issues about anything related to football? We'll give you a whole bunch of other things, such as with this level, bring your own towel, soap, shower shoes. Be ready to leave without taking a shower because there are no shower facilities or the water is cold.
Lewisburg. All right.
Are you sure there are no questions, concerns, issues, unreadiness, anything that we need to address as the board? Yes, sir.
Is that a question of today after the meeting?
Me.
Any paperwork goes through Aaron. He is our administrative guru. Any money goes to Aaron tonight. He is our financier.
You make checks out to cash? No.
Yeah. I will tell you, these kind of shirts, we are having, they are available through Pat Go. He's one of our local officials. Coat and tie to our game sites. Polo shirt away. Yes, sir.
Actually, buying uniforms going on now.
You can get the standard shoes, standard 1-inch
2-inch.
striped shirt,
2-inch.
pants. It's going to be the 2-inch shirt. Before you go out and buy a shirt, let me know. We will tell you what kind of shirt to buy. There was a time where we were the alphabet conference. There was no telling what position you might be working. But we do try to keep expenses down and only have you buy one shirt.
I had 3 H's show up.
The issue is, though, if you're a short wing, you should be able to work H and L. If you are a deep official, you should be able to work all 3 of those positions interchangeably. Deep officials typically will spend more on shirts because they get 3. Well, actually, they get 6.
Yep.
Short sleeve, long sleeve. We're lucky and fortunate. Well, we're unlucky in that we lost Frostburg. But you're fortunate in the fact that Frostburg was our 4 seasons field. And by
Every time
that
I've
I
been-
mean you could get all 4 seasons.
Every time.
Spring, summer,
Like-
winter, and fall. All in
You
the
were there.
same
You were
year.
there with me. Yeah, you were there with me last year.
Okay. You can be sunny. You can be sunny in short sleeve, and the kickoff, but by the time halftime, you wish you had gone out in long sleeves and long johns. You come back out wet, and then you get to fall, and it's pretty. Okay? But same thing in West Virginia at Alderson Broaddus. You know, when you get to West Virginia, winter could come early. Or you have a night game. Sometimes night games get cooler than day games. But you have to be able to officiate that game from start to finish as if it was the first game of the season. I don't care if it's 100 degrees and 100-degree humidity. Oh, by the way, if you don't know, we don't arrive on the field 30 minutes before kickoff. We arrive on the field fully dressed, ready to babysit 1 hour prior to. That's all 7 officials. It's one of the reasons why we get there 3 hours ahead of time. Good question. Who else has something? You might be thinking it. Somebody might as well say it. Get it out. This is your time. We are required to test the footballs. There is in the mechanics manual, so there is an official assigned to the footballs. Yes, sir.
That was Bill Ward's book.
Yeah, we'll put the 6-man mechanics manual up on the Zebra Web website. In fact, it may already be there. I don't think it's been updated for a while, but it's still, I think, as relevant as it can be. You do want to make sure that you know the 6-man mechanics, even though you are assigned a 7-man game. Officials do get hurt.
When the umpire gets run over.
Or the referee gets stepped on.
That happens.
Yes, sir.
Is there a certain shoe we have to wear, all black?
No, we don't have a required shoe. We do require that it's clean, but we don't have a, standard conference shoe. It can have a white stripe on it. It can be all black. But no, there's no special requirement. You can get either the Honig black pant, the Smitty's black pant. The main thing about the black pants is the white stripe should be white.
Not yellow.
You don't have to iron them, but they shouldn't be wrinkled. So you got to be careful how you pack your bag. Hats, oh my goodness, hats should be white piping, not white piping with white sweat stains all around. You have to invest in your equipment. Black bean bags, not blue bean bags, not white bean bags. Any other questions? All righty. We'll be up here for the next 5 or 10 minutes for all the questions that you just didn't want to ask. But other than that, drive safely getting home.
Hang on one second. Hang on one second. No, you can do whatever you need to do. I got to do this.